Angel Sight 6, Episode 4. In this segment, I will explain in detail the attacks I received in New Orleans and Evergreen. A twist will come at the end when I look into the eyes and speak with the angel that saved my life. Watching as the inn disappeared in the rearview mirror, my thoughts quickly turned to my relaxed state I was feeling. Recognizing I was terrified just moments before and now wanted to sing along with the radio, it just didn't make sense. Maybe an angel entered my body as in New Orleans. That was one explanation, I surmised. Shrugging the incident off as my overactive imagination, I focused on the road as I wound the car down and out of the mountains. After being away from the office for several hours, I had numerous phone calls and emails to respond to. Replying to each in turn, it took me most of the afternoon to catch up. Later that day, when I found time to speak with Laura, I told her about my experience in the hotel. Describing the strange voice and pecking sensation, I said nothing about the presence in the room near my car. The reason? I was still trying to convince myself it didn't happen. Sharing how the couple questioned me at length about my time upstairs, there was not much to say, except they seemed confused with my answers. 3 days after visiting the inn, I awoke with the knowledge of being attacked upstairs in the passageway. Recalling a beating to my head, I knew it was not imagined. Something unseen had pummeled me. The event, however, was not clear in my mind, appearing only in black and white fragments. Upon Laura's arrival to work that morning, I told her about my recovered memories and planned to let the couple know about the demonic spirit in their hotel. Turning in her chair, she looked at me and said in a calm voice, "They already know." After a moment's thought, I gasped, "They do know." Suddenly, everything made sense and explained why the couple kept questioning me at length about what I may have felt upstairs. Carl tried to warn me, but I ignored him, assuming he was exaggerating. The next day, while discussing events with my coworkers, one of them used an office computer to perform a Google search on the hotel. What we discovered confirmed everything Carl had been saying. Paranormal activity was so common at the inn, a local news crew was challenged to do an investigative report. After completing an exhaustive search, the team found nothing unusual, removed their recording equipment, and closed the file. Believing that was the end of the story, I put the incident out of my mind and concentrated on things at work. 7 days after visiting the hotel, I awoke with a clear memory of what took place upstairs. In color and vivid detail, I remembered everything, including what occurred in New Orleans. This is what transpired as I exited the small room. Terrified by what I just felt, I raced down the passageway as the stabbing on the back of my arm spread to the side of my face. Skirting the notched floor, I moved to the far end and stopped. Frightened, I turned and faced the cutout. Fear of being forced down the stairs kept me from taking the step down. Trapped, I stood in place with no option but to absorb the attack I knew was coming. On 2 previous occasions, when I felt an evil presence moving on me, I was able to sprint away, leaving the threat behind. This time it was different. The demon had me cornered. Increasing in frequency, the attack on my face became a frenzied storm, as more invisible birds drove their beaks deeper into my soul. The pain at that moment was excruciating and couldn't get any worse, or so I thought, when, shockingly, a larger and more powerful fowl began assaulting the top of my brain with the speed of a woodpecker. Recognizing I was in distress, Carl cried out, "Todd, are you okay?" Not really realizing he was still in the area, I answered, "I'm fine." My brother Gary was the reason for my false response. Years earlier, while working in Nicaragua for Habitat for Humanity, Gary's friend, along with his evil girlfriend, recklessly sent a demon to strike him in his sleep. Choking to death, Gary awoke and managed to eke out the word, "Father," forcing the entity to flee. Believing Carl had brought this on me, I did not want him to know the attack was a success, hence the reason for my reply. Recognizing there was something truly wrong, Carl cried out a second time, "No, Todd, are you all right?" Responding, "I'm fine, thanks." It was at that moment the assault went to an even greater level, as another of the larger fowls began piercing its beak deep into the left side of my brain, while clawing at my heart. The strikes on my soul were coming so fast they were without separation. In my traumatized state, somehow I managed to isolate a blow. Concentrating on my left side, I felt a stabbing pain go deep into my brain. The bird had to be the size of a large crow or raven. Thinking about grabbing the monster, there was no fight left in me. I was nearly paralyzed and about to collapse. At that moment, blindness came over my eyes, like two tubes being compressed to the center. Please see Angel Sight 6, Episode 4, Part 2, for the conclusion.